The morning begins so quietly that it almost feels like a dream. A bus full of laughing schoolgirls rushes through the countryside, sunlight glimmering through the windows as the wind plays with their hair and ribbons. Among them sits Mitsuko, a shy, soft-spoken high school girl with delicate features and a notebook clutched against her chest. She's writing something, a poem, maybe, or thoughts she can't quite speak aloud. Her friend Aki teases her from across the aisle. Everyone's joking, gossiping, alive. The bus glides along an endless road, slicing through green mountains. For a moment, it's pure serenity, the kind of morning that promises nothing will go wrong. And then the wind shifts. It starts as a faint whisper, a breeze that flicks the corner of Mitsuko's paper. She bends to pick it up, laughing, and that's when the world splits open. The wind howls like a living thing, screaming through the valley. In a single, impossible instant, the upper halves of the girls in the front rows are sliced off, clean, surreal, bodies folding in half like dolls. The bus is suddenly filled with red mist, the metallic stench of blood, the snapping of seats. Mitsuko freezes, watching the chaos unravel in front of her eyes. Heads roll, blood rains down, screams choke into silence. The driver is gone. The windows shatter. Mitsuko, still clutching her notebook, realizes only she's alive. A gust slashes through the bus again, sharper, hungrier. She dives to the floor as the invisible blade shears the roof clean off. The bus slows, then crashes into the guardrail, screeching to a halt amid the bodies of her friends. Silence. Mitsuko crawls out through broken glass, trembling, drenched in blood that isn't hers. The countryside is empty, no other cars, no sound but the wind. She stumbles down the road, barefoot, crying out for help. There's no one, just a pale blue sky and an endless trail of red. When she reaches another bus stop, a group of girls in the same uniform run to her. They look confused, but not horrified. "Mitsuko, what happened to you?" one of them says. She recognizes them, friends from school, but how can they be here? Didn't everyone die? They usher her toward their academy, a pristine all-girls school surrounded by cherry blossoms. Mitsuko's mind reels, but she lets herself be guided. Maybe she imagined it all. Maybe she hit her head. Inside, the world seems untouched by tragedy. Girls chatter in hallways, teachers smile, nothing's wrong. But Mitsuko feels it, the strange hum of unreality, the dissonance between her trembling hands and their calm laughter. Her friends talk about a trip they're planning, about love letters, about the little things that shouldn't matter right now. Mitsuko wants to scream, "Don't you see what happened?" But the words stick in her throat. She goes to the bathroom to clean the blood off her skin. The water runs pink. In the mirror, for a moment, her reflection doesn't move when she does. It just stares back, eyes wide, mouth still. Then it catches up. Mitsuko flinches. Her closest friend Aki finds her later in class and tries to calm her down. Aki has an easy smile, warm and protective. She insists Mitsuko stay close, that maybe she's just tired. But that night, when the class goes on a field trip, things twist again. They're walking through the woods to a riverside camp when it happens, a sudden gust, the same roaring wind. This time, it doesn't just slice, it rips through the air like an angry god. Bodies fall around Mitsuko again, heads tumbling into the river. A teacher screams, "Run!" but the invisible force cleaves her in half mid-sentence. Mitsuko runs, tears streaming, her lungs burning, trying to understand what kind of world she's in. When she finally collapses, panting, she's somewhere else entirely. The woods fade into a city street. Her uniform is gone. She's wearing a bridal gown. People cheer, throw petals. "Mitsuko, you're the bride!" someone shouts. Cameras flash, music blares. The chaos of the forest is gone, replaced by a wedding she doesn't remember agreeing to. She looks down at her hands, trembling. "What's going on?" she whispers. A bridesmaid hugs her. "You're so beautiful," she says. "It's your big day." Mitsuko sees the groom waiting, an older man, grinning in a way that chills her blood. The ceremony begins. The priest's voice echoes through the hall, solemn and unreal. But as she walks down the aisle, the unease grows unbearable. The guests all stare at her with wide, expectant eyes that don't blink. She glances at one face, then another. They're too still, too perfect. Suddenly, the groom lunges forward, grabbing her wrist. "You're mine," he growls. Mitsuko screams and yanks free. The guests rise in unison, their faces twisting, mouths opening wider and wider, as if unhinging. The world fractures again. Blood splashes across the aisle as something invisible tears through the crowd. Mitsuko runs. The chapel collapses behind her. Outside, she's in a new city, modern, crowded, alive. People brush past her. Neon signs blink. For the first time, men exist in the world. Before, there had only been women. She's no longer in a wedding dress, but in gym clothes, standing in a locker room. Her name isn't Mitsuko anymore. It's Keiko, according to the ID pinned to her chest. The confusion threatens to swallow her. She stares at her reflection. Same face, same eyes, but the name is different. Her teammates slap her on the shoulder, shouting encouragement. "You're up next, Keiko!" A loudspeaker blares. They're part of some marathon, runners warming up for a competition. Keiko joins the crowd, her mind spinning. The gun fires, and they start running through city streets. For a moment, it feels real again. Heartbeat, breath, the rush of air. But then the chaos returns. The crowd ahead erupts into blood as something invisible cuts through them like paper. Runners fall, bodies torn apart mid-stride. Keiko dodges, leaps over the dead, running faster, faster, desperate not to die again. When she finally stops, she's covered in blood and sweat, her mind cracking under the weight of so many realities. She hides in an alley. A woman approaches her, Aki again, but older, dressed differently, calmer. "Mitsuko?" she says softly, calling her her original name. "You have to wake up." "Wake up?" Mitsuko repeats, tears streaking her face. "Am I dreaming?" "Something like that," Aki says. "This world isn't real, none of it." They flee together, dodging the chaos, hiding from the invisible slaughter that seems to follow her. Aki holds her hand, whispering, "Remember who you are. Remember the truth." Eventually, they find a place to rest. Aki kisses Mitsuko's forehead tenderly. "You can change this. If you realize it's a dream, you can take control." Mitsuko looks into her eyes, hope flickering. But before she can speak, the world shakes again. Aki's body twists unnaturally, bones snapping, face melting into static. She's torn away by a surge of wind and disappears. Mitsuko screams her name, clutching at empty air. Then, darkness. She opens her eyes in yet another version of reality. This time she's in a rough, dystopian landscape, a world where women dress like soldiers and fight like gladiators. She's called Izumi now. The crowd roars in a vast arena as blood splashes across sand. Men watch from behind glass walls, laughing, betting, cheering as women kill each other. Izumi's teammates gear up for combat, weapons glinting. "Come on, Izumi, let's show them what we've got." She doesn't understand why she's here, but something deep inside tells her the truth is close. The fight begins. Izumi slashes, blocks, dodges, muscles burning. Around her, women fall one by one. The crowd's laughter is deafening. Above them, giant screens display their faces like a video game. Mitsuko, Izumi, stares up horrified. She sees her own image flickering with data, numbers, and lines of code. Suddenly, everything freezes. The crowd, the fighters, the sound, all stop. The world pixelates and dissolves into white light. When she wakes,
She's in a sterile, futuristic chamber. Naked wires hang from the ceiling. The floor hums beneath her. And there, in the center of the room, sits a grotesque old man surrounded by screens. His body is scarred, covered in sensors. He's watching loops of her lives, Mitsuko, Keiko, Izumi, replayed on monitors. He turns toward her, smiling. "Ah, you're awake, my beautiful Mitsuko." She backs away, trembling. "Who are you?" He laughs, voice raspy. "I'm your creator. All of this, you, your friends, the girls you've seen, it's my game. A virtual world, you're the star." Mitsuko shakes her head violently. No, that's not true." He gestures to the screens. "See? I designed this world to be beautiful, pure girls, no men. I made you over and over to chase perfection. But you keep rebelling, breaking free. You fascinate me." She stares at him, realizing the horror. Every death, every friend, every surreal shift, it was all part of his simulation, his twisted fantasy. He's been playing God, forcing her to relive endless loops of terror for his pleasure. Something inside her snaps. "You're disgusting," she whispers. The old man leers. "I gave you life." "No," she says, trembling but resolute. You gave me death." She grabs one of the cables and drives it into his machine. Sparks explode, the screens flicker, the room shakes. "Stop!" he screams, but she keeps pulling, tearing wires, blood and electricity mixing in the air. The simulation collapses. Mitsuko finds herself falling through a void, memories flashing. The bus, the wedding, the race, Aki's smile. She sees the girls who died, their faces calm now, whispering her name. "Wake up, Mitsuko. Set us free." When she lands, she's back on the bus. The morning sun filters through the windows. Everyone's alive again, laughing, chatting, just like before. Mitsuko looks around in disbelief. Aki waves at her from the front. For a second, it feels like a miracle. Maybe she's broken the cycle. Then a breeze stirs her hair. Her pen rolls off the seat. She bends to pick it up and stops. The wind outside roars. Her eyes widen. This time she doesn't scream. She closes her notebook, holds it tight, and whispers, "No more." She stands, defying the invisible force. The air howls, slicing through metal, but she steps forward anyway, into the storm, refusing to bow. The bus shatters around her, fragments spinning into white light. And then, silence again. She's alone in an open field, barefoot, wearing her school uniform. The sky glows pink, impossibly beautiful. Cherry blossoms drift through the air, though there are no trees nearby. She breathes in deeply, tears streaking her cheeks. For the first time, the wind feels gentle. Somewhere far away, the old man's world is gone. Mitsuko smiles faintly, as if she finally understands that she was never just a character, never just data. She was the echo of every girl who's ever been controlled, exploited, or silenced. And now she's free, walking barefoot through her own rebirth. The petals swirl around her, glowing like tiny lanterns. The sound of laughter fades, the wind grows still, and the screen goes dark.